ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ತರಗತಿಗಳು @VSR ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಚಾನೆಲ್ಗೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ವಿಡಿಯೋ ನೋಡೋಕ್ಕೂ ಮುಂಚೆ ಚಾನೆಲ್ ಅನ್ನು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮತ್ತು ಲೈಕ್ ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನು ಮರೆಯಬೇಡಿ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಲೈಕ್ಗಳು ಉತ್ತಮ ವಿಡಿಯೋಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡಲು ನಮಗೆ ಪ್ರೇರಣೆ ನೀಡುತ್ತವೆ. ಲೈಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ತಾನೇ?
Have you ever wondered why you can find juicy mangoes everywhere in the summer, but, good luck finding them in the middle of winter? Well, that's not just a coincidence. It's all part of this ancient agricultural rhythm, this kind of hidden clockwork that decides what's on your plate and when. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on these secret seasons of farming.
And at the heart of it all, it really boils down to two completely different types of crops. You can see it right here. On one side, you've got the plants that just love the drenching rains of the monsoon. But on the other, you have crops that actually thrive in the cool, crisp air of winter. They're polar opposites. And really, understanding this difference is the key to the whole thing. Now, these two distinct periods, they have names that farmers have used for centuries, especially across South Asia. They are the two fundamental pillars of the entire agricultural year, kharif and rabi. Let's get to know them because, honestly, they explain how a massive part of the world eats.
Okay, so first up is kharif. Think of this as the season of abundance, fueled almost entirely by the sky. It kicks off right when the monsoon rains hit, around June or July, and it carries on right until the start of autumn. This is your classic summer crop season.
And on the flip side, you've got its counterpart, rabi. This season gets going just as kharif is wrapping up. It takes us all the way through the cooler winter months, starting around October and all the way to the spring harvest in March or April. This is the winter crop, and it grows in a totally different climate.
All right, let's dive a little deeper into kharif, shall we? This season is really defined by one thing, water. And I mean a lot of it. The success or failure of these crops pretty much depends entirely on the power and, just as importantly, the timing of that annual monsoon.
The formula for kharif crops is, it's beautifully simple. You need a lot of sun and a lot of rain. These crops are thirsty. They've basically evolved over thousands of years to just soak up those intense monsoon downpours and grow like crazy in the heat and humidity of summer.
And this brings us to some foods you're definitely going to recognize. Rice? That's the ultimate water-loving crop, a classic kharif staple. Along with it, you've got maize, cotton for our clothes, and really important stuff like soybeans and groundnuts. Every single one of them relies on that summer downpour.
Okay, now let's shift gears completely and talk about the rabi season. The monsoons are gone, the air is getting cooler, and the whole approach to farming has to change. These crops actually flourish in conditions that would be an absolute disaster for their kharif cousins.
See, rabi crops are built for the cool and the dry. They actually need lower temperatures to get started and to grow properly. In fact, too much heat or too much water can seriously damage them. It's a total 180 from the conditions we just talked about with kharif.
And once again, the examples really tell the story. Wheat, the crop that gives us our bread and pasta, is the absolute king of the rabi crops. Alongside it, you get barley, those beautiful mustard plants that paint the winter landscape yellow, and of course, essential pulses like lentils and gram.
Right, so this brings us to a really important question. It's the logical next step, isn't it? We've established that rabi crops need less water, but they still need some water to survive. So with the monsoon long gone, how in the world do millions of acres of farmland get the hydration they need to produce a harvest?
Well, the answer isn't in the sky anymore. It's in human ingenuity. This is where irrigation comes into the picture. It's the incredible technology that allows farming to continue long after the rains have stopped, basically creating a second major growing season where one wouldn't naturally exist.
So what is irrigation really? Put simply, it's all about us bringing water to the crops on our own terms. Instead of just hoping for unpredictable rain, farmers can apply a controlled amount of water exactly where it's needed and exactly when it's needed. It's an absolute game changer. And there are a few key ways it's done. You've got wells and tube wells, which are kind of like giant straws, pulling water up from underground. Then there are these vast networks of canals, which act like highways for water, carrying it from rivers and reservoirs to faraway fields. And of course, you've got more modern methods like drip irrigation, which are super efficient, delivering water literally drop by drop right to the plant's roots. When you boil it all down, irrigation is the bridge. It's what connects the wet kharif season to the dry rabi season. It unlocks the potential of the land all year round, and what that means for all of us is a much more stable and diverse supply of food. So,
This all brings us to the future. These ancient rhythms have worked for centuries, but now they're facing enormous pressures, things like climate change and growing water scarcity. You have to wonder, how will farming adapt? Will new technologies totally redefine what kharif and rabi even mean? It's something to think about, because whatever the answer is, you can be sure it's going to show up right there on your plate.